Hey guys, Jordan here, coming at you a little more raw this time. But there's something I really wanted to share with you guys. Anyone out there who's watching this and you want to start making some income, start making a living, have a business, either part time, full time on the side, whatever, but basically earning an income, earning money from your studio and from mixing and recording or mastering and starting to get clients in, right? And so I was at this event recently. It was an online business event, and one of the speakers dropped a quote, and it was from the founder of LinkedIn, I believe. And his quote was this: it said, "If you're not embarrassed of your first version of your product, then you shipped too late." So he said, if you're not embarrassed of the first version of your product, then you shipped it too late. So of course, this is coming out of Silicon Valley world, tech startups, where the whole ethos is to kind of develop what they call your MVP, your minimum viable product, and get it out there. Like, just get something out there, the bare bones version of your product, so that you can actually see if people even care or want it at all, and basically adapt it quickly to what your customers say and to their feedback, before you put before you put a ton of investment and time and money behind it. You've got to test it and see if people actually care about it first. So that's why he's saying, if you're not embarrassed of the first version that you put out there, then you waited too long to get that initial feedback. So this got me thinking, and I think we can apply this directly to your music career and getting clients in the studio, because one of the main things I keep hearing over and over from course members, customers, followers, people respond to my emails, and they say, I'm almost ready to start working with clients, or I just need to get a little bit better before I start reaching out to clients, or you know I'm I, I'm growing a lot, I've progressed a lot, my work sounds a lot better, but I'm still not quite good enough to get clients, or I'm not sure, or how do I know when I'm good enough to start reaching out to clients? So let's think of this quote. I'm going to reword it. If you're not embarrassed of your first client project, then you started too late. Guys, the first projects I did for paying clients, it wasn't a lot of pay. We're talking, I think, $50 a song, maybe even less. Maybe it was free, the first stuff I did. But once I started charging and getting money for it, very, very cheap, $50 a song. I was just doing demos for local bands and my friends. And looking back, man, that stuff is embarrassing. It's horrible. Like, I didn't even know half of what I was doing as I was doing it, yet I was still getting paid for it. And I was okay with asking for that money, because regardless of the quality, like, I was still dealing with clients at that level, right? I wasn't trying to reach out to big touring signed bands to get them in my studio when I just started out. I was starting where I was, with local bands who just wanted a demo, young bands who weren't professional or anything. They just wanted to record their songs, right? And so it's cheap, $50 a song. And it's embarrassing. It's really bad. In fact, for the first few years of projects that I worked on are embarrassing now when I look back at them. But if I had not started back then, I wouldn't have started building the word of mouth, the reputation, the portfolio, and just clients knowing who I am and knowing about my studio, if I had never just started. If I had waited until I felt like I got to that professional standard before I started going after and reaching out to clients and doing paid projects, then I would never have got there. Because number one, I wouldn't have projects to do and practice on, so I wouldn't have gotten better in the first place. And number two, there's no standard. Like, look, guys, there's no mayor, or there's no president of all recording engineers who has to give you the certificate of approval before you can actually start doing this stuff for clients. Like, it's almost as if we're sitting here waiting for someone else to give us that confidence or give us that validation that, okay, yep, you are now good enough. Your work has now crossed the threshold where you're now good enough for someone to pay you, come into your studio and do a project. Guys, it's not going to happen. The only permission you need is your own, to go out there and decide, this is what I want, and I know it's not perfect yet. I know I'm not the best that I'm going to be in the future, but if I don't just start now, I'm not going to get there. You've got to make that decision. And it's okay to be embarrassed. You shouldn't be embarrassed right now of your work. Actually, maybe a little bit. Maybe that's okay. You start where you are and you find clients who are at that level and willing to work at that level with you. Trust me, they're out there. And then you gradually get better and you work your way up. That's how it goes. That's the reality, okay? You're not just gonna all of a sudden, be in your little cave by yourself and all of a sudden become an incredible world-class producer and mixer, and then decide that you're going to put the sign on that says you're now accepting clients and everyone's going to pour in because your work's so good. It's never going to happen. You got to start now. And it's okay that if you get 6 months down the road or a year down the road and you listen to the work you did back then, a year ago or 6 months ago, and you're embarrassed of it, good. At least you started. Like, you got to be willing to suck at first in order to eventually become great. All right, so I wanted to share that with you guys. Remember, if you're not embarrassed of the first client project you did, then you started too late. And if you're not starting yet because you're waiting for that confidence to appear or to feel validated, or for someone to tell you that now you're good enough and now you're ready to go after and start reaching out to clients and getting people into your studio to work on projects, you got to stop. You've got to decide, all right, do you want to do this or not? And if you do, then you've got to give yourself that permission and just get after it, get out there and start doing it. All right? So don't wait till it's perfect. There's never going to be a perfect scenario for this. You've just got to act. You've just got to start. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want more of this content and the what I consider to be the most actionable, best recording and mixing tips on the internet. So please subscribe to this channel and go to hardcoremusicstudio.com to get to my email list. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.